It's a bloodbath and nowhere to hide. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Daily Update. And the selling continued. We thought there might be some sort of a dead cat bounce, and no, there is no bounce. There are no buyers to be found. Although being down over 600, we are making a little bit of a comeback here right at the close. But again, this is a market. This is what we've looked for, and what we're looking for now is a big enough rally so we can sell them again. Again, this is the new pattern. As all the advisors, all the pundits, everybody tries to make sense of why we should be buying. The real question is, where should we be selling? Okay, the markets are breaking down. We've talked about the internals. We've talked about the new highs versus new lows. We've talked about it all. And everybody wants to blame the Fed because the Fed wants to hike rates. Well, if the economy is so good, the Fed should be hiking rates. Nobody criticized the Fed when they were making this bubble that got us here or creating all this debt. They were worried about it. So now they want to squawk and look for excuses and reasons. Here, markets trade the same, and they have done so in the history of all markets going back to Tulip Mania and before. We had built a bubble, everybody poured in, everybody ignored the debt, we ignored every other thing about markets, and then decided that this time was different. And of course, it is never different. The markets are starting to fall apart, and until something shows otherwise, we are going to continue to go lower. In all markets, and before the trade wars, before the Fed, before all this stuff came to fruition, the Russell was quietly breaking down first, which is a sign that there was trouble in the market. So again, we are looking for a place to sell. As we have said for months, we want to sell rallies. And I think that is still the way to go until proven otherwise, because we are definitely trending lower, and this market is into correction territory, and it is going lower. Now, there will be 99% chance a Santa Claus rally at some point. The question is when and where does it come from? My guess is it'll come from lower than here. It'll probably come from a little bit of a capitulation bottom. But going forward into the first quarter next year, I think we want to continue to be sellers of all rallies. I think that's the overall market picture right now. No matter how you want to look at it, that's really the simple thing, is to look to sell rallies until this pattern changes, which is now headed lower. Okay, you've got oil, which has now collapsed, and it was down another 6 or 7% today. It got down into the 52 level. Okay, now oil is still headed lower. Okay, we can make excuses. I hear these guys talking, and I'm not going to mention my name, but I hear them talking about, well, it should be this. You know what? The chart is telling you everything you need to know. The pattern says oil is going lower. Will there be a dead cat bounce? 100%. But oil, like equities, you should be looking for a spot to sell. Gold is still churning in that range. I know there's some fear out there that gold is going lower. Listen, it's churning around. It's hovering around that 1220 bottom end of the level. Again, I wouldn't get concerned. I'm still looking to be a buyer of gold here at some point. I think that we see higher prices going forward. And again, you got to watch the price action. That really tells you everything you need to know. Grains, as we said yesterday, would probably rally today. They weren't up great. It wasn't a phenomenal rally, but they did hold, and they're holding support. And we want to continue to be buyers of grains. The meats, other than hogs, which sold off pretty hard, but hogs had made a new recent high, so a little bit of sell was no big deal to think about. The fats and the feeders, they held up relatively well in a very quiet market. We've got, I think, cattle on feed tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure which day it comes out. In the meantime, it doesn't matter. The markets will always tell you, the markets will give you the best probability of what's going to happen next. And of course, the Bitcoin and the cryptos are getting murdered. Okay. Now, is this the end, or is this a buying opportunity? As you know, and I always tell you, I'm in. I'm losing money. I'm not looking at them. I'm not selling them. I'm not getting out. But again, I wouldn't commit a major investment here. I would continue to hang in there and see how they trade out. I do believe that this is real. I think that it's going to work out, and we'll see how it trades out. But again, I'm not going to sell what I have. What I committed to the crypto space was what I was willing to lose in total. So if they go to zero, then they go to zero. But again, I didn't commit that much capital altogether. Markets have been, fairly actionable. There's been some heavier volume, but think about it. If we had real volume, the volumes would be huge. But of course, is this still a holiday week? We're going into tomorrow, which is going to basically a long week, even though the markets are open on Friday. I would expect to see some sort of dead cat bounce. I'm not a seller in the bottoms down here. I'm looking for a big rally to sell into. Now, I might take some stabs to the long side depending on how we open. I thought this morning's open was a chance to buy. As it turns out, it was not. It was a chance to lose a little money. But at the end of it, it looks like natural gas has calmed down a little bit as well. It looks like the short squeeze is over there, and that came a lot from that optionsellers.com where they blew out everybody with being short options. I think you can start to see that's now calming down. So again, it's very simple as we look at the markets, okay? As long as you're being disciplined and patient, wait for your opportunity. Don't you try to force the market to do what you want to do. You sit back and wait for the market for a level that you think is a good spot to sell or a good spot to buy. Again, we trade both sides of the market here. We're not looking just to sell. We're not looking just to buy. We want to trade both sides. Investing, we want to always be long and be hedged. And I think that's something that's very important to everyone, is to understand where we are in the markets. Right now, we're in a very bearish time for equities. They are going to continue to go lower, and we want to continue to sell rallies until otherwise noted. And right now, and it's not a 100-point rally. We would need like a 1,000-point rally, and I'd still be a seller until it showed that it could actually hold that level, and depending on the speed of the market. So in the meantime, let's sit back and relax. Let's wait for our opportunities. We don't have to be forced in or forced to do anything. Let's sit back, and of course, the dollar's higher as well. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Daily Update. Todd Bubba Horwitz. Don't forget about checking out Gold is a Better Way from my friend Adam Barata. If you want to check that out, he'll send you a free copy of the book, BubbaTrading.com/gold. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, Patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's Patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Have a great day. We'll see you all tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.